The best pistol caliber is subjective. I guess you know this already, and if you are going to ask every gunner you know, they'll probably give you different answers. Each cartridge you see in your local ammo store is meant for specific purposes, so what works for this will certainly not work for that. Hey, this is your boy Ted from Line 45, and today what I'm going to do today is to showcase the best pistol calibers based on their overall popularity, availability, and versatility, or the kind of circumstances you can use them. But first, let me do this quick plug. Hit the like and subscribe button. All those buttons you can see below. I know it feels like a hassle, but those simple clicks mean a lot for my channel. Now let's get back to the good stuff. 10mm. I want to start with the 10mm. This caliber has seen a resurgence in recent years as the demand for hard-hitting and versatile cartridges becomes a thing again. The 10mm was developed by the FBI sometime in the 1980s, and when it comes to soul-stopping power alone, this one is a lot more superior than the 9mm and even the 45 ACP. However, the FBI didn't stick with the 10mm for too long, as its field agents and operators found its recoil too strong. Still, the 10mm has garnered a loyal following. A substantial number of people, including me, are suckers for its stopping power. It can handle both two-legged and four-legged threats, and I am talking about the large hunts. Many of the hunting pistols you see, such as the Glock 20 and Colt Delta Elite, are chambered in 10mm. Pair them with advanced ammo like the Underwood ammo and Buffalo Bore, and you can really make the most out of this caliber. Ballistically speaking, your 150 grain to 200 grain 10mm bullet will have velocities of around 1,200 or 1,400 feet per second, and an energy level somewhere between 500 to 700 foot-pounds, as far as I remember. Of course, these numbers tell that the 10mm is the Chuck Norris of deep penetration and substantial stopping power. I kid you not. This caliber packs a punch, and you will never want to be on its receiving end because it can really bang your soul out of you. 22. Long rifle. 22 long rifle requires a mention here. I don't know how you feel about this handgun caliber, but it works for a number of reasons. It's cheap, doesn't recoil a lot, and it's almost available everywhere. This may not be the caliber you would think first for personal defense, but for practice and clearing small pests, the 22 long rifle is more than effective. Of course, this doesn't mean that it is a lousy personal defense caliber, but the truth is, it is just superseded by calibers that offer better stopping power and ballistic performance, like the 9mm. When you fire a 30 to 40 grain bullet to a 22 long rifle handgun, what you'll probably get would be velocities ranging from 1,000 to 1,300 feet per second, which is fast, right? The actual downside is its energy transfer, where it can just release 100 to 160 foot-pounds. Evidently, the 22 long rifle isn't your best choice if you require superior stopping power. Skip this one and go for those larger calibers. However, if you want precision for plinking, training, or even hunting small games, the 22 long rifle is something you need to seriously consider. The low recoil is great for new shooters, and when used with subsonic rounds, the 22 long rifle is extremely quiet. So yeah, the 22 long rifle is the caliber of choice if you want to operate in a hush. One well-placed shot, and 22 long rifle handguns like the Ruger Mark IV could really get the job done. 40 S&W. The 40 S&W is something that you shouldn't overlook. It's not something that should fly off your radar because, capability-wise, it has the best features that a 9mm and 45 ACP can offer. Basically, this thing has sufficient stopping power, but without having an explosive recoil, which is pretty nice if you are thinking of personal defense. As far as I know, the 40 S&W came to be sometime in the 1990s, when the FBI looked for an alternative to a 9mm. This happened after the controversial 1986 Miami shootout. Since then, the caliber has been adopted by various federal and police agencies. In terms of ballistic performance, the 40 S&W has a velocity that ranges from 950 to 1,200 feet per second when using a 155 grain to 180 grain bullet. Meanwhile, its energy levels are at 400 to 500 foot-pounds, which means that this caliber is reliable when it comes to deep penetration and substantial expansion. I want to take the Winchester Ranger and Speer Gold Dot 40 S&W rounds as an example. These are some of the best-selling 40 S&W ammo right now, given their consistency in their penetration and expansion, even if they have to pass barriers or obstructions. They show what a 40 S&W caliber can do, especially in combat and defensive scenarios. Obviously, the energy of the 40 S&W is higher than the 9mm, but it has no unreasonable compromise on its size. This means that when it comes to magazine capacity, a 40 S&W can offer a greater magazine capacity than a 45 ACP. Hence, handguns chambered in 40 S&W, such as the Glock 22 and the SIG P229, offer a balance of capacity, power, and recoil that would certainly appeal not only to common guys like us, but to professionals too. 45 ACP. The 45 ACP may have lost the limelight, but it's still a compelling case of a handgun caliber that can take down large targets in games. It's popular for its stopping power, and there was a point in time when it was the hottest caliber in the handgun market until the advent of striker-fired polymer pistols that are chambered in 9mm. In fact, even with the prevalence of 9mm pistols today, the 45 ACP still has a spot in the arsenal of civilian shooters, law enforcement, and military folks. I guess nothing can supersede the relevance of the 45 ACP, and that's all right. I mean, I want to try every handgun caliber out there, and I don't want to miss out on the 45 ACP especially. After all, shooting a 45 ACP is such a pleasure, especially if we are talking about 1911 handguns. Contrary to popular belief, the 45 ACP doesn't operate on high pressure. If you are using standard loads, the expected velocity of a 45 ACP round would just be roughly 830 to 900 feet per second, while its energy transfer is about 350 to 500 foot-pounds. So even if the velocity is low, the 45 ACP still has a potent energy transfer, which in turn lets it become effective in self-defense situations. Keep in mind that this caliber uses heavy bullets, typically at 185 to 230 grains. So once they hit an object, they would penetrate extensively to the point that they could easily create large wound channels. This is a proven fact, and for the most part, this is where the 45 ACP got its reputation for having a solid stopping power. The Federal HST and Speer Gold .45 ACP rounds are my favorite, due to their foolproof expansion and penetration in ballistic gel tests. This cartridge is also favored in modern handguns, not just the 1911. The SIG P220 and Glock 21, for example, feature greater magazine capacity while retaining the caliber's renowned power. While it produces more recoil than smaller calibers, I certainly appreciate its surprising controllability and the confidence it provides due to its tested and tried reputation in both combat and defense. 380 ACP. The 9mm Kurtz, commonly known as the 380 automatic Colt pistol, is another popular handgun caliber, thanks to its extremely manageable recoil and compact size. Needless to say, these qualities made the 380 ACP an ideal choice for concealed carry and personal defense. At the same time, it is more affordable than other handgun calibers, and this means that it's also great for practice and target shooting. Ballistically speaking, the 380 ACP is something I consider as moderate. Its velocity is just so-so, which is around 900 to 1,000 feet per second, while its energy transfer is meager in the grand scheme at around 200 to 250 foot-pounds with standard loads. Obviously, these numbers are being dwarfed by what other larger cartridges can do, such as the 9mm or 10mm. But this doesn't mean that the 380 ACP is not a viable personal defense round. It still has a capable penetration and expansion, especially if you are going to use modern ammo. If you are planning to get a 380 ACP pistol, I suggest you try the likes of Federal Hydra Shock and Hornady Critical Defense. Both of them are actually designed to optimize and bring out the full potential that a 380 ACP can offer. The recoil of 380 ACP pistols is pretty much minimal. I know because I've shot a lot of them already. Even micro-compact pistols that are chambered in 380 ACP, such as the Ruger LCP, don't flip that much, even with their diminutive size. Returning the sights to zero is a lot easier compared to other handgun calibers. Of course, this also highlights another significant advantage of 380 ACP, which is the fact that it can be chambered in small, lightweight pistols. It's not just the LCP, but also the likes of the SIG P238 and Glock 42. While I'm aware that a lot considered the .380 ACP a compromise caliber due to its weaker stopping power compared to larger rounds, its ease of use and the ability to carry more discreetly make it a top choice for those seeking a balance between performance and portability. 9mm Luger. The 9mm Luger, which is also known as the 9x19mm Parabellum, is definitely the most popular handgun caliber right now, and that shouldn't surprise you at all. Keep in mind that the 9mm has a balanced ballistic performance. I said balanced because it somehow fits the bill for whatever shooting applications you intend to use, such as personal defense, combat, competitions, hunting, practice, and so on. You can also see this balance by the numbers. Ballistically speaking, the 9mm tends to generate a velocity of 1,100 to 1,200 feet per second when using standard load, while its energy transfer plays around 350 to 450 foot-pounds of energy, as far as I remember. In actual shooting, these numbers tell that the 9mm is a manageable round in terms of recoil, so it remains accurate even if you fire it rapidly. I also have to point out that the 9mm has effective penetration and expansion capabilities, especially if you are going to use something like hollow point ammo. And this is the very quality that made the 9mm ideal for self-defense. Take the Federal HST and Speer Gold Dot as examples. They are commonly used 9mm hollow point rounds due to their consistency in FBI ballistic gel tests. Right now, the 9mm is extensively used in law enforcement and military applications. And it's not just here in the US of A. The rest of the world is using the 9mm, which clearly underlines the reliability and practicality of the 9mm as compared to other handgun cartridges. It has become the standard issue caliber for many police forces and military units, partly due to its high magazine capacity, often allowing for 15 to 19 rounds in a standard-sized pistol, like the Glock 19 or SIG Sauer P320. So, no matter what other people say, the 9mm is still the king of pistols these days, and there are no signs it will change anytime soon. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell. Just press all the buttons. Those little clicks are free, but they help the channel a lot. Stay sharp, stay safe, and remember, it's not just about the shot, it's about mastering the craft. Until next time, lock and load. Lock and load.